Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank. It is the Swindon Town Swoodilypoopers. It's raining in England. Stirring turn of events. Today we are playing Watford. This is a particularly awkward matchup for me because I have a good friend, Craig, who lives here in Indianapolis down the street from me, who is a teacher, high school government teacher, and also an Englishman, and he is a massive Watford supporter. There you see other John Green, nay Bennett, shaking hands with the referee. Today, we are up against Watford, and yeah, it's a little weird because, of course, I like Craig a lot, and I hate to beat his team, but I'm going to try. So the Swoodilypoopers, I should say, are not doing quite as well as I think we'd all hoped in terms of their movement toward the Premier League, their purportedly inexorable march, although that's going to help. Stone Cold Steve with a C. Austin in the 4th minute. Huzzah! Huzzah! We are not mid-table, but we're also not at the top of the table. I would say that we're in about 7th place right now. I'll try to get an exact figure for you and put it in the doobly-doo. But it's been it's tough. Like, these championship clubs, they're quality. Today I'm going to tell you, the story of Voluptuous Pericard. But I have to begin with some terrible news, which is that Voluptuous Pericard, you saw him injured in the last game that we played, the victory over Crystal Palace. Yeah, he's out for 25 days and possibly more. It's just a rash of injuries to the strikers of the Swindon Town Swoodilypoopers, and that's where we can least afford injuries because we have no depth. Because, of course, I thought, as anyone would, Lucas! Great job. What happened? Oh, boy. All right. Let's just defend this here. That did not go well. Well, somewhere my friend Craig is delighted. That was not the best work I've seen out of Fat Lucas. I still feel like he's not. Well, that was really the wall's fault. Let's face it. The wall kind of wasn't in the right place. But that's on some level, that's also Fat Lucas's responsibility. His head's just not all the way in the game, and yeah, it's unfortunate. But he's a complicated man, Fat Lucas. He's not an easy hero. And they aren't all easy heroes. You've got guys like George Best. Oh yes! Stone Cold Steve with a C. Austin releasing a shot at exactly the right moment. Gorgeous stuff. And we're back in the lead. Take that, Watford. Voluptuous Pericard is injured and he's out for a while. Voluptuous Pericard, a native of the Ivory Coast, but the French-speaking African nation, and still lives in the Ivory Coast during the off season, which is somewhat unusual for professional footballers. Voluptuous Pericard is not paid exorbitantly well. I can tell you exactly what he's paid because I'm his manager. He makes, oh boy, this is just trouble. Please don't score. He makes $6,500 bucks a week, and that's a good living. Let's face it. I'd take $6,500 bucks a week, but he wouldn't have to live. He doesn't have. He chooses to go home, and that's where his family is and where he grew up, and still to him it feels more like home than rainy England ever will. But there's a lot to admire about the way that Voluptuous Pericard has lived his life. He's one of 9 siblings, and 3 of his siblings are professional footballers, including one of his sisters, who plays for the Ivory Coast's national team and also plays in France professionally, although women's soccer in France is a very kind of semi-professional profession. But she is very good and is one of the better players in the world today. And but Voluptuous Pericard is not the best player among his siblings, among his male siblings. He has a brother who plays for Lyon, I believe it is, in France. And look, that's tough. When you're hacking away every day. What? F. Hall, I don't even know who you are. I wasn't even aware that you played for this team. I believe that you're a central midfielder. You're our captain, actually, so I should know who you are. Somebody tell me what F. Hall's first name is, please. Frank? Philippe? Frack? Frack and Hank? I don't know. Tell me what his name is. It's F. Hall. and you choose his name, as always. So Voluptuous Pericard, when you've got an older brother who's playing in, really, like, consistently playing in the Champions League and, playing for the Ivory Coast national team, gets to play in World Cups and stuff, it's frustrating when you're playing, for a League Two side like Swindon Town was when he joined the club. But if soccer is what you know and it's what you love, it's what you do, even if there's a measure of sibling rivalry there and a frustration that you're never going to be as good as you might be. You see similar stuff sometimes with video bloggers who are both brothers. I know that my videos will never get as many views as Hank's videos. Oh no. Too many unnecessary slide tackles and then a foul on the edge of the box. Tell me he was outside of the box and that's a yellow card. Yikes, I don't like the color of that card. Oh man, 7 unnecessary slide tackles and then I think that was outside of the box at least. So hopefully we won't give up a goal. Fat Lucas, we need you now. Great job by the wall. Voluptuous Pericard, is kind of has that older brother. He's an older brother of his of the guy who plays for Lyon, but he's not. He's the lesser brother in terms of football talent, but he's not the lesser brother in terms of football courage, and that's what we look for in the Swoodilypoopers. We know we're not going to have the most talented side. Week in and week out, we don't have the budget, we don't have the stadium, we don't have the support to, we're not selling 1 million T-shirts a week, so we're not going to have that kind of club. But what we do look for is players who have tremendous heart, and that's what I admire so much about Voluptuous, and that's why I'm so bummed out for him that he's going to be out for 25 days. I do want you to know that I'm choosing to pay his way while he's gone. Make sure that he's taken care of and his family's taken care of. Another thing about Voluptuous Pericard is his family life. There are a number of guys on the Swindon Town Swoodilypoopers who are dads, but Voluptuous Pericard has been married since he was 17 years old, and he is now 32. He's been married for 15 years. And that's just astonishing. That is a terrible shot, the length of that marriage. He's married, and he's also, like, more than anyone else on the Swoodilypoopers, like, dead in love, like, more in love than the guys who, have girlfriends they started dating a month ago and won't shut up about. Like, Voluptuous Pericard loves his wife. He's crazy about her, and never stops talking about her. Her name's Alice, and he just, like, they have a tightness that you just don't come across in many marriages. Marriage is a funny thing that way. Like, there are good marriages that last for 50 or 60 years, but that don't have the kind of, like, tightness that you see with the Pericards. And one thing I would say about Voluptuous and kind of I think what's ultimately the key to his marriage is that it wasn't it's not mere romance. Like, he and I were talking about this when he was injured. I went to I visited him on the training table because I'm concerned about him. The trainer told me he's going to be out for a while. I wanted to let him know that we're going to pay his wages and everything. His family's going to be fine. He doesn't need to worry. He just needs to focus on getting better. And one of the things that we talked about is the way that in some ways love is a feeling, and in other ways love is a decision, particularly when you're in a lifelong relationship, whether it's a family relationship or a marriage, where you have to decide to love someone, and you have to decide to be caring toward them. And he's just better than most people at making that decision and consistently showing his love for his wife. Like, I mean, I've never seen someone who's more attentive when it comes to, like, getting flowers, or, if we're out on the road, like right now we're at Watford, like, he's probably going to pick her something up. I think they play in London. He's probably going to pick her something up in London, just a little something to let her know that he was thinking about her while he was on the road. The Swoodilypoopers, of course, we travel by bus, and it's just a bunch of stinky guys and all their stinky equipment on a bus with the trainers and the coach and everything, and but you hear Voluptuous Pericard talking to his wife on his cell phone, whispering sweet nothings, and the guys all make fun of him. But on the other hand, like, everybody knows that we'd all like to have what he has, with Alice. We'd all like to know what it's like to be with someone for 15 years since you were 17, since you were a kid, and to have that person be truly the one and only love of your life, like the person who you're just going to be with forever. And yeah, it's tough to see a guy like that get injured because I just think so highly of him. He's like all my favorite players in sports. He's not he just he's ultimately a family person more than he is a football player. And I think that's where the competition with his brother ends, because on some level, that's the one thing that you can't get with all the talent in the world, is you can't get the family that Voluptuous has and the relationship that he has with his wife. He also has 2 young sons who he has encouraged never to become. Oh my God! I just scored my first free kick ever. Other John Green scoring a free kick. Nay J Bennett. I scored a free kick. I did it. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm too excited, but I never scored a free kick. I tried like 1,000,000 times. Oh, sorry, Loach. I want to apologize to my friend Craig for all that negative cheering I just did against Watford, but I was so excited. We're up 4-1 in the 76th minute, thanks to Jay Green's free kick. How do you like them apples? Anyway, Voluptuous Pericard has 2 kids, and I think because he has 2 boys and because he has the relationship with his siblings that he has, and he definitely doesn't want them to be involved. He's not like one of these dads who's like a big sports dad who's trying to make sure that his kids are professional sports players. He really is focused on their education, and he always says that his dream is that they become 2 engineers who are embarrassed of their father's profession. I think he's sincere about that, which is very unusual. I mean, most of the guys on the Swoodilypoopers who have kids want and expect their kids to be great footballers, just as their parents did. That's why they ended up, focused on the sport and with a passion for the sport. So it's interesting, though. It's one of the things that kind of intrigues me about Voluptuous. The last thing, we only have a couple minutes left, but the last thing that I'll say about Pericard is that he is a great supporter of the football team Liverpool. He's a huge Liverpool fan, and it's awkward, man, because we are the Swoodilypoopers, and he shouldn't support anybody but Swindon Town. But every Saturday and or Sunday, if we're traveling, he's got his headphones on, glued to the radio, listening to Liverpool matches. So that's another somewhat eccentric thing about Voluptuous. So I'm, of course, a Liverpool supporter as well, although, obviously my career and heart are forever with the Swoodilypoopers. But so that's something that we talk about. We talk a lot about Liverpool history and Shankly and all that stuff. But so that's an introduction to Voluptuous Pericard. We got a red card today, Ramsden, and gave up a goal. But we scored our first ever free kick, and now we're dancing. Voluptuous Pericard's going to be out for 25 days. Ball John Green is going to be out maybe for the rest of the season, at least for another month. But we will see you next time here at Hank Games Without Hank. Thank you for watching, and as always, best wishes.